Welcome back to Fut-Afrique. This is the only show that allows you to discover the African continent through its football. We are still talking about the qualifiers as far as the African continent is concerned for the World Cup that will take place in 2026. Now, some nations had a bumpy start to their qualifiers, the likes of Nigeria in Group C. But Adelani is always the spokesperson for the Super Eagles. The Eagles are not soaring.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that during the course of the show. But can I answer the trivia question for today?
No, you can't answer the trivia question. Let's talk about the Super Eagles.
Well, it is what it is. The Super Eagles of Nigeria losing to Benin. The whole world was in shock. Adelani was in shock. And that's because of a few problems. Coaching issue, getting his tactics wrong. Also, the players I'm suspecting are not respecting the coach. The NFF, I'm believing they haven't invested enough in the football. The likes of Rwanda, for example, in the last 5 years, they've invested up to $50 million in their football, and we're seeing the results today. And it wouldn't be such a bad thing if the likes of Victor Osimhen could watch this coming World Cup from the comforts of their couches, because maybe it would motivate them to actually play so much better for the badge, because these players don't seem to know what it means to play for the Super Eagles.
Well, you say that as if you've already made peace that Nigeria is not going to go to the World Cup. You didn't say, I didn't say that, you said that, right? But let's talk about the surprise packages, obviously, because Nigeria being held by Zimbabwe to a draw, that is something that many people did not see coming. Yes. Let's talk about the countries within these qualifiers that have really surprised us.
Comoros has impressed me. Surprised that they're at the top of their group.
Yeah.
Also, the likes of Tanzania beating Zambia. Mm-hmm. That was a shock. Obviously, we've spoken about Benin, who their coach currently is the former coach of Nigeria. He came back to haunt Nigeria. Mm-hmm. They hadn't paid him allegedly for 2 years, the Super Eagles, and I think it was taking that frustration out of the Super Eagles, really. And also the likes of Sudan has impressed me, because in Group B, we see Sudan sitting on top of that group, Senegal in second place in that group, and those have been the surprises for me.
Yep, the likes of Sudan, not forgetting that the formation of CAF, this association was there then. So I'm expecting them to do well. I think it's high time they actually stomp their authority when it comes to the African continent. But also, some exciting names have been discovered by people for the first time. Other names, it's taken them this moment for them to say, hello, this is me, and this is my time to shine. Yes. Exciting players that you've pinpointed?
Kamara from Senegal, Paulus from South Africa, Bashiru from Nigeria. These are just some of the names that have really impressed me so far. Young men with bright futures.
Yeah, if you ask me, I'm going to go to them. Cherewa. Ooh, what a star boy.
Yes.
What a star boy.
The British-born midfielder. Yeah. Very exciting player. We saw him make his debut against Lesotho, and I think he's definitely got a bright future, plays for Wolves, and I think if he continues like this, who knows, we might just see him in a Real Madrid jersey someday.
Yeah, I mean, with time, give him some time. But I know we need to round up this conversation, but just by looking at how thus far has gone, right? Are there any countries that you're looking at and you're just like, they need to play because they need to honor the fixtures, but it's that. It's like, it's not going to go far.
Listen, you can't make that mistake in African football, because everybody's stepping up and everybody's showing that, I mean, even a Lesotho, before like the qualifiers started, I wrote Lesotho off in Group C. What did they do? They drew against Nigeria. So I can't pinpoint any team that I would say are the whooping boys of every group. There's still so much to play for. There's 6 more games to play for all the countries, so anything can still happen.
And finally, just let me know when it comes to squad depth. I mean, coaches had to assemble players, get players, bring them in from their respective clubs. Luckily, most of the world, it's off-season now. But the importance of squad depth when it comes to qualifiers and having your best players playing within these qualifiers.
Well, we saw it with South Africa when Morena came in the second half. It was a game changer, really. And we saw Modao on the right flank of South Africa. He wasn't bombing forward as much because he had a pacey player like Morena in front of him. That was squad depth for me because...
even without a Grand Kekano, you can still move around your players. Got you.
That's right. And we saw in the case of Nigeria, they had the likes of Victor Boniface on the bench, you know, and the coach, who I believe is still learning his craft, didn't know that, well, if I bring on the likes of Victor Boniface, maybe the results could be different. But anyway, that's a story for another day. The teams like Ghana, who have the likes of Jordan Ayew, who, congratulations to him, his 100th cap, scored a hat-trick. You know, that was his 8th in the last 5 games, just showing you that, you know, Ghana have so much firepower in store. So many teams have a lot of firepower in store. But yeah, squad depth is important at this stage of the game.
Well, squad depth definitely is important, but now it's that opportunity for the teams to go back to the drawing board, somewhat switch their attention to the Afcon qualifiers. The draw is taking place, so we will see as to who goes up against who, but we commence with the World Cup qualifiers come the year 2025.